All right, folks, welcome and thank you very much for watching. This video is a short overview about our CIEE Madrid semester in program. We're going to be using the Education Abroad website to navigate the program and review its details on its respective webpage. So, first thing we're going to do is land on the dashboard when you open the site, but we want to find the programs, so go to Explore Programs. Next, we're going to want to go ahead and type in Madrid here. You'll see that there are several options for Madrid. Specifically, we are talking about the semester in program, but if you're curious about our other options, definitely open them up, paying close attention to the program eligibility, as you'll find some of these, for example, are open to all majors, like the CIEE semester in program. Some of them are not open to all majors and might require you to be an IU Bloomington College of Arts and Sciences student. For example, this program does require you to have upper level Spanish, and then ultimately some that are restricted to certain schools within the university. But the CIEE Madrid semester in program is open to all majors. And when you go to its specific page here, you will land on this program overview. Definitely take a look, open up the read more to make sure you're not missing anything important. But first, this column here has the program highlights, where it outlines this has an optional internship, where it also outlines the various subject areas, and of course, the program contacts. So, for example, the Education Abroad Advisor, the Kelly Advisor, our general office email, and then, of course, our Student Services Coordinator. So, again, hitting the read more because there's some important information that might be at first hidden to you there. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see immediately a note here indicating high student interest. Some of our other programs, like Barcelona, will have this note. And what this note means is just especially driving home that these applications are competitive because a lot of folks are interested, and for you to be prepared to think about backup program options. So as you plan, whether for the far future or the near future, if you want to do this program, definitely have at least another in mind. Scrolling down, of course, before you get to the bottom, there's a map of Madrid if you want to continue to play around with that. But moving on to the About program here, again, indicated that there is an optional part-time internship available. Those internships are 3 credits, and you opt into doing them by, after being accepted into the program, you'll communicate with our partner, CIEE, about your interest in the internship, and then they will basically show you all of the open positions available across a wide variety of fields and sectors, from business to media, things like that. So definitely take a look um, at their website. The CIE website, which is linked throughout, has the full list of options, but of course those might change semester to semester. So if you're interested, you can earn 3 credits on an internship, and you would just be working primarily with our on-site partners to make sure your application to the internship is processed. But again, you will only be doing that after accepted by IU into the program. Next, you'll see this program is primarily taught in English, but the reason we have Spanish also as an instructional language is because all students are required to take one Spanish language course during their time on this program. Most of those courses, especially the lower level ones, are 4 credits, but some of their Spanish language courses, the slightly higher level ones, are 3 credit. Ultimately, the idea of this is for if you've never taken Spanish before, that's completely fine. You're still okay to go on this program. You will just be taking 100 level Spanish. If you have a 3 or 4 semester foreign language requirement for your degree, then perfect. This language credit can fit right in for Spanish. If you've taken some Spanish before and are hoping to keep making progress abroad, that is entirely possible. Even if you have finished a foreign language requirement for your degree, you will still be required to take a Spanish course. It will just be at the next level higher from your current enrollment. So make sure you're aware that no matter what, of the 5 courses or 4 courses plus 1 internship that you are taking abroad, one of those is always Spanish. Next up, you can take a closer look here and on the CIEE website, linked there, about the specifics of the program housing. But the important thing to understand is that there are a few different pricing tiers. Standard housing, that costs no additional fee. Select, which has some additional fee, which you'll find later on our webpage what those fees look like, and then Select Plus, which of course is the highest fee. The general options of housing within this are, of course, homestays with a Spanish individual or family, shared apartments with other students on the CIEE program, and then finally, residence halls, which might have double or single rooms. If you are sharing a room or a living space with another student, you can very much request up to one roommate to join you there. So this roommate can be absolutely anybody so long as they're on this exact same program. As we saw that there are multiple options in Madrid, if you're interested in rooming with somebody, it's important to clarify you are both interested in doing the CIEE Madrid semester in program. But if you're in the same program, you can absolutely, for example, if you're a non-Kelly major, you absolutely can room with one of your friends at the Kelly school here. Even if you have a friend who doesn't go to IU at all, but they are on the same semester in Madrid program with CIEE, then you can absolutely room with them. Another important thing to note about housing is ultimately there are no exception to using program housing. Independent housing is not allowed whatsoever. So that's why it's especially important to understand the options and which work best for you. Moving on here to the academics. So this program, there is a 15 credit hour minimum, which breaks out to be at least 5 courses. Of those 5 courses, one of them is always going to be a Spanish language, leaving you 4 to choose from, and one of those 4 can be the internship because you're earning 3 credits for it. So most folks tend to do one of 2 routes: Spanish class, 3 classes, and an internship, or the other route, the Spanish class and 4 other classes. Most of these courses tend to be 3 to 6 credits, but ultimately 3 is by far the most common, and it'll be communicated otherwise if they are more than 3 credits. But understanding the internship placements, as I mentioned, can be in business, they can be in media, education, health, event management, social agencies, and more. So definitely for a wide variety of folks with interests, all across different sectors, there are options for you on this program. This list right here, you might see this located here, or in the future, you might see this located on its own website, but this is the course equivalency list. This is the list of IU credit you can expect to earn for a course that has been offered abroad before. If you are a Kelly School of Business major, it's probably more important to do your course level advising specifically with the Kelly Abroad team because they understand the specific requirements of your major. But if you're a non-Kelly major, it's important to understand this list here shows you the various credits you can earn. So this is something you can take a look at on your own to get a sense of what you need. You can work with your academic advisors to see which of these credits or requirements plug right into your remaining degree requirements. And of course, you can also talk to us here at Education Abroad, and we can help you set some expectations on what courses you have left that you can reasonably earn abroad on this program. If you continue to scroll to the side, as I just did, you'll see that some courses carry CASE credit, Gen Ed credit for the various arts and humanities, social, historical, mathematical, etc., etc. And of course, if there are additional program notes, you'll find them more to the side. For example, course taught in Spanish, there's a Spanish language internship. There's, of course, also English language internships as well. And if there are specific notes about credits only for specific majors, you'll find those over there as well. Down here is the link to the CIEE website, and they will always have the most up-to-date courses and syllabi. And also the CIEE website is where they publish the internship options for you to take a look at. Next, you will just see that the term information here outlines when the program occurs. So you can understand that the program begins in January, ends in May, tends to be almost slightly over 16 weeks. Arriving on the start date, which will usually populate here, and if not, definitely go to the CIEE website directly because they will have the program dates there. But it is important to arrive on potentially before, but the best thing to do is arrive on the program start date. Uh, you will not start courses immediately that day, but you will be checking into program housing. Your student visas will be kicking in that day, ideally, and finalizing any sort of on-site steps you need to do with maybe some courses to still need to finalize registration. But ultimately, arriving on the start date is key because you'll have a few days of registration orientations, anything you need to get done before lectures start, generally a few days after you arrive, if not the next week. Moving on to the what's included, you'll get a sense of what things are part and are not part of the program fee. So, for example, a housing cost tends to be part of the program fee, except those premium plus ones I discussed might charge an additional fee. For example, administrative fees, insurance are part of the program cost. However, any visa or personal expenses are not, so those will be out of pocket, for example. Airfare tends to be the largest out of pocket expense. And then finally, if you do need any books or supplies, that might be out of pocket. But what is covered is, of course, the bulk of the housing cost, insurance, and of course, the program fee itself. Here's the eligibility tab, and it's very important to understand these requirements. That, first of all, as I said, you do not require any Spanish in advance. But what is required is first that you're making normal academic progress. Normal academic progress just means you are consistently full-time enrolled at university. If you have had a few transfers or starts and stops, and you are concerned if you have enough consistent full-time enrollment, talk to us and we'll take a look and see if you apply for that. But also, normal academic progress includes that you are not on academic watch, probation, and so forth. If you are also eligible if you are in your fourth full-time semester of college. That is semesters completed prior to going abroad. So, for example, if you're going abroad in the spring, your minimum fourth semester needs to be done by then. So, for example, fall could be your fourth semester there. And then, of course, you have to have a minimum of a 2.75 GPA. Because this program is competitively evaluated, if you have below a 2.75, I strongly encourage that you look at other programs. Because of the competition, we are wanting to evaluate everybody who is eligible, and unfortunately, a GPA below 2.75 is not. But plenty of other programs are not evaluated as competitively, so please just be in touch with us if there are any concerns there. But understanding for Madrid, it is a minimum of 2.75. For business majors in particular, I-Core needs to be complete. For Spanish majors, even though this program is located in Spain, it does not offer much upper level Spanish credit at all. So definitely consider our programs, our other Madrid program with the Complutense University, or some of our programs at Seville, for example. And then, of course, make sure that you have a plan to get a passport if you're interested in going abroad. Finally, the costs and funding page over here is the last part of our website. There's several links here to the program fee sheet that breaks down the cost, other links to financial aid and scholarships, for example. So please click on all of these, take a close look at the refund policy, because there's some quite specific information in here, especially about the program costs and aid available, that is important to making the financial decision. So especially when you're researching it for yourself, or if you're having conversations with your families on the financial plan, this is where a lot of this information will be located. So definitely click the links to understand the program costs and various details like that, including financial aid. So in short, that's our Madrid CIEE program semester in, and strongly encourage you to take a closer look at the website. If you are course planning, I definitely encourage you to look at the course list, compare it to your remaining degree requirements. If you need help, come talk to your academic advisor to understand what remaining degree requirements you have, and then you can come talk to us at Education Abroad to understand which of those requirements can be realistically met in Madrid or any abroad program. So, pretty much so. Look forward to seeing you. Come by, talk to us about the program, and best of luck on any application.